In part 6 on our series on psychological gesture, we introduce the second of the three I's, imagination, and we discuss how to use your imagination to create and use psychological gestures, right after this. Hi, the Inspired Actor here. If you're new to this channel, we are dedicated to helping actors become better artists by offering these quick, roughly 10-minute acting lessons. We have about 100 of these on our channel so far, so feel free to check them out. And if you want to see more videos like these in the future, go ahead and subscribe so you'll be notified as soon as they come out. And take a moment before you forget and hit that like button, as it really helps me out. And if you know people who might like these videos, please don't hesitate to share them on your social media outlet of choice. If it leads me out of myself, then I am on the right road. Michael Chekhov. First off, sorry that it's been a while since my last video on this subject. I've been performing Jacob Marley in A Christmas Carol at a local professional theater in the area, and as the old saying goes, I couldn't. I had rehearsal, and then shows. Lots and lots of shows. But I'm back now with part 6 in this series on psychological gesture, the crown jewel of the Chekhov Technique. If you are new to my videos or this series, I'll put a link to the complete playlist in the notes for you to catch up. But here's a brief review for you, just in case. In part 1, we covered what a PG is and how an actor uses it to find the spine of a character, scene, moment, and more. We added quality, tempo, and rhythm to PG in part 2. Then in part 3, we added drive, resisting force, and the artistic frame. We delved into the anatomy of a psychological gesture in part 4, and in part 5, we discussed creating a PG from scratch using inspiration. Now, let's talk about the second of the three I's, imagination. Just to clarify, we are of course always using our imagination in our work as actors. It's our primary tool for creation of anything, not just psychological gesture. And yes, we are definitely using imagination when we try to create a PG using inspiration or any means for that matter. But this is a different way into PG than I have discussed before. And I think the best way to explain it is to go back in time a bit to when Chekhov was first figuring out psychological gesture. During rehearsals for a particular show, his director told him that if he pictured an imaginary circle on the floor that his character couldn't go through, then he would grasp a bit of who his character was. Chekhov described this as a kind of prototype for what would later be developed into psychological gesture. Later, he worked on another role and found his characterization by imagining that his character was always looking for something that he had lost. That was his whole psychology. He was looking for something inside of himself. Then, when he was working with the great Konstantin Stanislavski at the Moscow Art Theater, Stanislavski gave him the key to the psychology of his character by suggesting that he start to catch things and then drop them suddenly. What these three examples have in common is that they are metaphorical and imaginative ways to describe a character that can then be put into action physically by the actor. We can easily use our imaginations to create an impenetrable circle around us. And by using that imaginary circumstance, we can allow it to affect us psychologically. I could imagine that being in that circle might make me feel trapped and frustrated and give me a strong desire to break out of that circle and be free. Everything I would need about understanding the core of my character could be found in that simple exercise. The same can be said about a character who was always searching for something within himself and it was just beyond his grasp, or the mischievousness of a character who purposefully drops everything that is thrown to him. There are many characters we can look at in this way, and this can serve as the starting place towards finding a meaningful psychological gesture that can get us to the core of our character. Let me show you an example of what I'm talking about by exploring the character I just worked on, Jacob Marley. First, let's try the inspirational approach. Now, as you can see, I am just letting my own inspiration take the driver's seat. I already am pretty familiar with the character, and now I'm just letting my own creativity guide me subconsciously to a PG. I am still using my imagination, of course, but it's a passive use of my imagination. With the imagination approach, I am taking a more controlling hand with my imagination. In this case, I have discovered a line in the script that inspired me. Wandering forevermore in restless haste. Let's see where that takes me.
Wandering forevermore in restless haste. 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 Wandering forevermore in restless haste.
In many scripts, there are certain phrases or character descriptions that the playwright or screenwriter has provided that can offer a shortcut to your PG. Always read your script carefully to find especially vivid language about your character. This can be said by the character themselves, other characters about your character, or within stage directions or character lists. Now, let's say that either you can't find anything like that in the script, or you've looked and didn't really find anything that sparked your imagination, or you tried a few different things and nothing really was working for you. Then I suggest taking an even firmer hand with your imagination and trying this. Find a quiet space where you feel comfortable, at ease, and where you won't be disturbed. Find your home stance. Feet shoulder width apart, feet parallel, back of your knees soft and not locked, arms hanging comfortably at your sides. Check your posture for slouching and make sure that your head is level with the ground, not tipped back or forward. Make sure that you are comfortable and at ease in this posture. The idea is that you are in the ideal posture where you can feel both relaxed and in a state of readiness. Close your eyes and imagine that your character is appearing in front of you. This might take some mental effort on your part. Don't take no for an answer. Use your full focus and concentration to imagine your character in as specific visual detail as possible. Let your character look different from yourself. Let yourself be surprised by the physical appearance of your character. If your character looks like you, then that's okay too, but find those subtle differences no matter how small and allow them to come into focus for you. Imagine the face, the eyes, the nose, the ears, the chin, the mouth, the hair. Imagine the neck, the shoulders, the chest, the bosom, the belly, the groin. Imagine the legs, the feet, the toes, the arms, the hands, the fingers. Imagine what your character is wearing. Is it formal or casual? Are the clothes comfortable or uncomfortable? How do the clothes fit? How is it different than something you yourself would wear? Notice the fabric. See how old the clothes are. Once you have a solid image of the character in your mind's eye, I invite you to open your eyes and with a feeling of control, project the image of your character standing directly in front of you. Again, this requires focus and concentration. Be firm with your image. Really see it standing in front of you. If anything changed from when your eyes were closed, make a note of it. If it still feels right, then allow it. If it doesn't, then make the change with your full will and concentration. Feel free to use your hands and mold your character as if you are molding invisible clay. You are the creator here, fully in charge of your own creative imagination as you mold this character into being. Once the image is before you in your own imagination and to your own satisfaction, then I invite you to ask the image to perform its own psychological gesture. If it doesn't do one right away, use your will force more firmly until it does. Release any feeling of self-consciousness or embarrassment you may be feeling with this exercise. You are fully in charge of your own imagination and are using it wholly and assertively to sculpt the image with your imagination. Mirror what your character is doing. Feel free to ask it questions, either aloud or silently, about the gesture. How fast or slow should I perform the gesture? What quality of movement should I use? Are you using your whole body to complete the gesture? Be careful of asking why questions, though. For example, try to stay away from, why are you doing it that way? Or why not try it this way? You are not a collaborator here. You are the student of your own image. Once you allow yourself to simply learn from it, it may lead you in directions you may not have consciously thought of before. Also, why questions lead us to the little intellect, which is never a good thing as an actor. It always leads us in circles and distracts us from the essence of our work. Once you have grasped all you have to learn from your image, thank it and send it back to where it came from. This is a pretty advanced imagination exercise for actors, and some respond to this amazingly well, and some not so much. Whether you get anything from this particular exercise or not, I encourage you to keep trying to build and hone your imaginative capabilities. All artists work in the realm of imagination. It is essential to working creatively, but actors work in this realm physically, continuously, and comprehensively. The greater and more detailed an actor can use their imagination, the more possibilities there are for surprising and dynamic choices in their work. Next time, I will cover the third and last of the three I's, intellect. Don't get scared after everything I just said about the little intellect. This is a unique and productive way to create and use a psychological gesture from scratch, and may be more in the comfort zone of many actors. Hope this inspires you. Thanks to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. We now have 1,000 actors and performers just like you who want to become better artists on stage and in film. If you haven't subscribed already, I invite you to hit the button, and don't forget to ring the bell if you want to be notified as soon as our next video comes out. I now have a Patreon page, so if you'd like to support my videos and help me make more, please consider joining. Click on the right for my latest video, and on the left if you want to watch all my videos on psychological gesture from the beginning. And if you'd like to know more about me, or you are interested in private coaching or classes, please visit MichaelChekhov.com. See you later, colleagues.